Nearly 60, Pitt confesses she was always the one. He's one of the most well-known names and faces on the globe, best known for his breakthrough performance in Thelma and Louise and subsequent roles in Legend of the Fall, Meet Joe Black, Fight Club, Moneyball, and several more films. Yes, Brad Pitt is one of Hollywood's best-known actors today. But how well do fans know the Academy Award-winning actor? The audience may believe they know all there is to know about an actor, but celebrities, like the rest of us, have their own private lives and secrets. So here are some facts about Brad Pitt that you may not have known, but should have. A cartoon made him cry. If you don't know Brad Pitt very well, you might not think of him as a man who easily gets emotional. Pitt said that he doesn't cry often, but he did say that there was one movie that made him cry a few times. It was the ending of How to Train Your Dragon that made him cry. We like it when men let themselves cry and show how they feel. Guys, it's okay to cry. Not at all, crying over a story that's so sweet and moving. A side hobby. What do fans of their favorite stars like to do in their spare time? It gives them a glimpse into their daily lives. Brad Pitt does something cool for fun. The star likes to design when he's not flying around the world and reading lines to cameras. He's so interested in building that he fixed up a wine cellar in one of his houses. The do-it-yourself job he did then caught the eye of an LA Frank Gehry was a design company, and he later got a job there. We don't know how he found time for a job, but we guess it's all about putting what you love first. Presidential ties. Brad Pitt is connected to an American president, though only slightly. This is another interesting fact about him. A study from 2008 by the New England Historic Geological Survey says that Pitt is related to Barack Obama through a guy called Edwin Hickman. Because of this link, Pitt and Obama are ninth cousins. They met more than once, and one of those times Pitt wanted to talk about his idea for green homes and see if it could be backed by the federal government. Several news outlets also said that his ex, Angelina Jolie, had a vague connection to Hillary Clinton. It's a small world after all. A TV star first. A lot of people who become movie stars start on TV, and Brad Pitt is no different. Brad Pitt got his start in soap operas before he became famous on the big screen. We do see it. His style is very much like the typical soapy style. Maybe the eyes, maybe the hair, or maybe the mix of the two. As a lot of famous people do, he got his start on daily soap shows. It was because he was so good on the NBC show Another World that he got a regular start on Dallas for 4 episodes. A creepy incident. It's not always easy to tell the truth about someone. Things that happen can be dangerous and scary. One very young fan of Brad's was said to be crazy about the star. That she was so set on getting close to him that she found out where he lived and broke into his house. It looks like no one was in the house at the time. The girl then changed into the actor's clothes and slept in his bed. Oh no. Later, the maid found her. She was arrested and Pitt gave her a kind of protection order, which makes sense. Nice to meet you, Jen. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston became one of the most famous Hollywood couples of their time thanks to how nice they were to each other and how beautiful they were. But it might surprise you that they didn't meet on set, at an event for their business, or by magic. No, they were set up by their managers. Pretty romantic, huh? It looks like Hollywood managers can help you with more than just playing jobs. The two became famous in Hollywood right away. They were together for 7 years, 5 of those years married. But we all know how that ended. Marriage ended. Brad Pitt. When they want to sell themselves, celebrities often pick a name that's different from their real name. If they or their managers think their name doesn't sound fancy enough, they fill out some paperwork to have it changed. That's how Norma Jean Mortensen changed her name to Marilyn Monroe. Brad Pitt's real name is William Bradley Pitt, which may come as a surprise to some, but true fans will already know. Pitt was named after his father, so his real name is William Pitt. But you could just call him Bill. Doesn't quite sound as Hollywood with Bill Pitt, though. Cutting his teeth. Some artists never do something, even if it means missing out on a chance to win an Academy Award. They'll do a lot of shocking and exciting things for the part. But Brad Pitt was happy to go the extra mile for the movie Fight Club. He even made an appointment with a dentist. For his part as Tyler Durden in the movie, the dedicated star decided to have his teeth chipped, and they stayed that way until the movie was over. After that, he had them fixed, of course. Meet the other Pitts. Many times, fans are interested in the families of the stars they admire. Still, likely most people don't know that Mr. Pitt has a brother and a sister. Julie, Brad's sister, has also a big family with both birth and adopted children. A lot of people notice that his brother, Doug Pitt, has a face a lot like that of his famous brother. Doug Pitt's also been in the news before. In a 2012 Virgin Mobile ad, most of the time he works with investments and charity. Basketball reject. Brad Pitt used to want to play basketball before he became a huge movie star. That's basketball in middle school. This was a few years before he grew to be 5 feet 11 inches tall. Pitt, on the other hand, didn't cut. Even though he tried out for the team, they didn't pick him. Never one to give up, he didn't let it stop him. Pitt made his basketball team and asked his dad, Bill, to be the coach. They called themselves the Cherokee Rejects. Where there's a will, there's a way, and a Bill. Blue-collar background. Uncle Mr. Pitt didn't come from a very interesting family. There are no established Hollywood ties or special treatment, other than the kind that comes with being so darn good-looking, but hey, that can't be helped. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to be persistent, humble, and work hard. Brad Pitt's probably seen these values in action all his life. It's likely because those are the ideals his family taught him. His mother was a guidance counselor at a high school, and his dad ran a trucking business. His mother and father both knew how important it was to set goals, work hard, and not get too relaxed when things went well. Giving back. Like being persistent, working hard, and being humble, Brad Pitt has learned how important it is to give back to the community. This is why in 2006 the actor started the Make It Right Foundation, whose goal was to rebuild the houses in New Orleans that Hurricane Katrina destroyed in 2005. As of 2021, the group had made 109 homes for people who lost theirs in the disaster. The group began with this goal in mind, but it has since grown and now helps build eco-friendly homes in New Jersey, Newark, Kansas City, and other places. A jewelry designer. We haven't found anything that Brad Pitt can't do yet. The man's good at acting, but he's also good at home improvements, making wine, flying an airplane, and now it looks like he's also good at designing jewelry. For his proposal to Jennifer Aniston, Pitt helped create a ring worth $500,000. It has a big diamond in the middle and smaller gems around it. The star also created a 16-karat diamond ring in the Art Deco style for his wedding to Angelina Jolie, shown here, which is worth $250,000. He does have a lot of skills. An ironic twist. It's not all fun and games to be an actor. On set, things can get dangerous at times, especially for action movies. This is the main reason why action doubles are so useful in movies. The problem is that Pitt hurt himself because he didn't use a stunt double when he played the old Greek hero Achilles in the movie Troy. In a strange twist, the actor hurt his Achilles tendon while doing a trick for the movie, which meant he had to walk with a limp for a long time. Thankfully, that was the only wound he got on set. His craziest gig. Before they became famous, a lot of famous people had plain jobs. While most people have pretty normal jobs like waiting tables or working in stores, some famous people have had a little more unusual ones. For example, Sylvester Stallone used to clean the lion cages at the Central Park Zoo. Before he became famous, Brad Pitt had a job that was crazy and a little funny. While handing out flyers for El Pollo Loco, which means crazy chicken, Pitt used to dress up as a chicken. Getting dressed up as a chicken would be funny, but there are worse jobs out there. Groundbreaking. You likely already know that Chanel is one of the most famous names in the world, especially when it comes to perfume. Chanel's had a few famous women represent their perfumes in the past, but Brad Pitt was the first man to be chosen as a spokesperson for the brand. Most people think of Pitt as a pretty manly guy, but he wasn't afraid to promote a brand that women mostly buy, and we love it. After the groundbreaking offer, he was in big ads for Chanel No. 5, which is a line of classic smells aimed at men. Brad, good job. What a wonderful smell. Working dad. Brad Pitt is known for having a big family with Angelina Jolie. Even though they aren't together anymore, the two stars have always put their kids first in their jobs. Being one of the most sought-after stars, together with your partner, isn't easy, but the parents of 6 have always tried to make sure that their kids always have their mom and dad in their lives. They often plan their work so that one of them could be home with the kids while the other worked on a movie. A big prankster. 2 episodes of the MTV show Jackass with Brad Pitt were possibly a bit of a surprise to viewers. When you think about how he and George Clooney have played jokes on each other in the past, this may not be such a big surprise after all. Pitt took part in the crazy plans because the show is known for having some pretty crazy jokes. One show had him running around Los Angeles in a monkey suit, and another had him act like he was being taken away. Those are the kinds of fun we like. The unknown woman. Brad Pitt was known to date popular women. Before he married Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie, the Hollywood star was linked to Gina Davis, Thandie Newton, Robin Givens, Gwyneth Paltrow, and a few other women. He did date one woman who wasn't popular, though. He went out with Jitka Polidek in 1994. At that time, she wanted to be an actor and had only one small part to her name. He was rocking the platinum blonde hippie Jesus look. He quickly moved on with Gwyneth Paltrow after that. Not a lot of people know what happened to Polidek after that. An unusual tattoo. Body art. They can have great meaning, be culturally important, be memorials, be funny, or just be plain weird. People who like a celebrity often want to know what words, images, or even characters they've chosen to have forever tattooed on their bodies. Brad Pitt has a tattoo of the Iceman. That's a bit strange. He's the Iceman. For those who don't know, the Iceman is the world's oldest natural mummy. This body belonged to a man from the Copper Age. It was also known as Otzi. The strange tattoo on his left arm is something that no one knows why he has it. His first on-screen kiss. As an actor or actress, almost everyone has a first kiss on TV. From what they've said about what goes on behind the scenes, it's not as sweet as it seems in the end. These are pretty private, unplanned, and close things that happen in real life. On a movie set, on the other hand, everything's planned, written, and done in front of a lot more people than you'd want. There was a primetime soap opera called Dallas, where Brad Pitt and Shalane McCall had their first kiss on TV. Before he became famous in movies, he had a regular guest part on a famous soap opera for 5 shows. A bad memory. We're all flawed, not even Tom Hardy. The man has a lot of skills, but one of them is not being able to remember things. Brad Pitt doesn't remember many things, which is a bad thing. A lot of people know and like the star, but he's said to have a bad memory, at least when it comes to names. Pitt said that he often can't remember who he met when he runs into them again. He said it might make him look kind of selfish, like he's too famous to remember the normal person on the street. A fellow famous neighbor. These days, it's great to have a good friend. In addition, Brad Pitt must have a lot of friends because he owns so much land and property. One of them is also an actress. It looks like Pitt has a famous neighbor, but it's not in his LA in the same neighborhood. Both Brad and Matthew McConaughey live in New Orleans. The two stars live right next door to each other in different houses. It was said that the two were seen throwing things at each other from their windows in 2014. That sounds like fun. Family roots. People are interested in the racial and genetic roots of celebrities these days. A lot of people are also interested in their family trees and use 23andMe or other science companies to do tests that can teach them more about their roots. On the show, Who Do You Think You Are?, famous people try to figure out where they came from. Although different sites give different lists of his ancestors, Brad Pitt's genes are said to be Irish, Scottish, German, Welsh, Dutch, French, a little Swedish, and even a few others. That's a lot of family background. Fight prep. For each part, a lot of artists learn new skills. A lot of people know how to ride horses, fence, and speak different languages. Martial arts are also very popular. Pitt's never been afraid to get his hands dirty to prepare for a part, and some of those roles have been pretty tough. Pitt trained hard for his famous part in the movie Fight Club, which had a lot of, well, fighting. Brad practiced in karate, boxing, and taekwondo to make sure he was ready for the movie. But the hard work and training paid off for sure. a musician too. Do you agree that everyone loves a musician? Feel free to ask any guy on a dating app who has a picture of a guitar. Those get swiped right on a lot more often than others that aren't musical. We don't think Brad Pitt has ever used a dating app, but he must know this. In case you didn't believe it was possible, the star does something else for fun when he's not movie making or acting. This one isn't too strange though. Pitt is also interested in learning how to play the guitar. It's a little more than just an interest though. He has more than one guitar made by Taylor and likes to play them often. An interesting lawsuit. If you had the money and the right woman to ask to marry you, wouldn't you want to use a ring that Brad Pitt designed? Of course you would. But it looks like you can't do that any longer. These days, it seems like you can sue anyone for anything, even famous people. Daniele International, the company that made the engagement ring Brad designed for Jennifer Aniston, was sued on July 18, 2001. Why? Pitt said the company sold copies of the unique design of his engagement ring. Pitt says that the company also said that he supported it. Big in Asia. Even though Brad Pitt is famous in the US, people in Asia have also used his fame to their advantage. These aren't just words about how popular his movies are around the world. Big businesses will pay you to promote their goods and services once people know your face well enough, no matter where you're from. For this reason, Pitt has been in a few ads that have only been shown in Asia. As well as being the face of Edwin Jeans in Japan, he was in a Toyota ad that was only shown in Asia. He was also the face of a Japanese brand of canned coffee called Roots in 2001. Big family, big money. These days, a lot of famous people get mad when reporters follow them around with their kids. Brad and Angelina, on the other hand, chose to use the public's interest to their advantage when their first child, Shiloh Nouvelle, was born. People bought their family photos for $14 million. The two gave the money from the sale to their charity group so that it could feed children in Africa who were hungry. Shiloh, who was only 2 months old at the time, had a wax figure made of her and showed it off at Madame Tussauds in New York. Hurt on set. For his part in the movie Seven, Brad Pitt played Detective Mills. It was the job of Detective Mills and Detective Somerset, Morgan Freeman, to find a killer who was driven to kill by the 7 deadly sins. Pitt hurt his hand while shooting Seven when he had to break a glass with his bare hands. The wound sounds pretty bad since director David Fincher says he could see Pitt's bone in his hand. The accident was an important part of the story, but the directors had to reshoot some scenes that had already been shot to make everything fit together. Pitt had to play with his hurt hand in his pocket for a lot of those reshoots. An Oscar. For Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt got an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 2020. In 2014, he won an Oscar for Best Picture. Interestingly, it wasn't his acting. The movie 12 Years a Slave had Pitt making it. He had a small part in the movie, but the Oscar was for the work he did behind the scenes. He was also up for his work on Moneyball, 12 Monkeys, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. His BAFTA win for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was pretty much the same. Officially a musician. Brad Pitt shows that you can start something new at any age. As of right now, it looks like the character is starting a real job in singing. It looks like the man is interested in music in more ways than one. He loves playing the guitar. Pitt chose to open the Miraval Studios in Correns, France with music artist Damien Quintard in the year 2021. The business wasn't starting from scratch though. Before it was closed for 20 years, top artists made their songs there. Muse, Pink Floyd, Sade, AC/DC, and the Cranberries are a few of the groups. We're excited to see what other great songs will come out of the studio in the future. A messy split. Brad's 2 public marriages have not lasted long and have ended quietly or privately. That's what fame costs. When he split up with Angelina Jolie, it was even worse than when he split up with Jennifer Aniston. They got married in 2014 after being together for years and having 6 children together. They began meeting in 2005 and didn't get engaged until 2007. It looks like they took a long time to get married. As usual, they said they had irreconcilable differences when they broke up in 2019. But since then, Jolie has made strong claims against Brad's ability to be a parent. A new generation. Many people are interested in Shiloh, Brad and Angelina's real daughter. She's beautiful and looks just like her parents. A lot of people say that her mom smiled at her, but her dad gave her stunning baby blue eyes. Reports say that the young woman, who may follow in her parents' path and become an actress, already has modeling offers after walking the red carpet. There's only one small part she's been recognized for so far, though. She voiced baby panda Shuai Shuai in the animated movie Kung Fu Panda 3.